Hello, my name is Reginald Thomas, and I'd like to share with you my most prized possession, which is symbolic for me because it represents a relationship that I have with my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. My most prized possession is a cross. Hand-fashioned cross, handmade by an individual who I'd like to share with you. I was looking to serve in my prison. I was looking to serve in my church in a ministry that I thought would be an in-house ministry within the church. However, I was approached by an associate minister who suggested that I do prison ministry with him. And I had a lot of fears and concerns about that because I'd never expected to do that sort of thing. But as I continued to think about it and talk with him, I felt more comfortable. My fears were overwhelming initially, but those subsided. And I actually joined this gentleman into this prison as one of his support roles, as one of his support leaders. And after the first week, there was another prison of which we were going to also share and visit with. And this particular prison was located in the city. And I found myself there by myself, supporting this particular position only after a week, sharing with about 30, 35, 40 men at a particular time. And we shared the book by Rick Warren called The Purpose-Driven Life. And during that time, I met a young man, middle-aged man, unassuming, but a very smart, mild-mannered man who was a part of the 30 or more that gathered there each week with me. And on one particular occasion, this gentleman had given me something. But prior to that, one of the other inmates had shared with his testimony, well, the account of which this man was incarcerated. And this man was given 75 years. And the 75 years which he was given was trying to have it reduced to 45 years. But this was a middle-aged man, 45, 50-year-old. By the time he was released from prison, he would be well into his 90s. But on one particular occasion, during the end of our session, he handed me something, which was contraband. And the contraband is not to be accepted by myself, nor is it to be given by him. And I wouldn't have accepted it unless I knew exactly what he was giving me. And he showed it to me, and it was just a simple object. It was a cross that he made out of popsicle stick and thread. Simple structure. But it was significant to me because it showed the impact that I was having, regardless of my concerns, my initial fears, to a man's life who was behind bars for the rest of his life. Sharing a book that given somebody insight and purpose to their lives. This man's life was transformed by my presence. And that was such a rewarding feeling that I could not have ever fathomed, ever considered having had something like that happen to me. I found that the simple things in life have a large meaning, have a large impact on people's lives. Time well spent with someone else is valuable time. And as I consider Maslow's needs for his hierarchy, needs of hierarchy, needs for love and companionship and those sorts of things are actually middle road. Those are things that we all need, and that's what these men needed. They just needed to know someone cared. They needed to know someone was willing to take time, an hour and a half a week, to come in and share with them, and to be accessible to them, and to be open and transparent to them. And by the grace of God, our positions could have switched because I could have been in their place. And so it felt rewarding, it felt satisfying, it felt redeeming. And for them, I think I got more out of it than I think they got, just from the mere presence and the time that I spent with these gentlemen. You can never keep someone's soul. You can never harbor someone's soul. And the purpose of which we have in this life can never be contained, even behind bars. And for this man, I have to believe that his life from that point forward, was never the same. And I was so thankful to have an impact in his life that it actually brought me great joy. So I thank you for this time, and I'd like to leave with one quote by a gentleman named Robert Collier. And he said, you have to sow before you can reap, and you have to give before you can get. And that quote means significance for me because it allowed me to give without having any expectation to get. And what I received was much more than I gave. And I will never be the same because of that experience. Thank you.